Evening all. For those of you who do not familiar with this channel perhaps, or do not remember, I used to do a Game of Thrones game called the Game of Thrones mod for Warband. Bollocks, what was it called? Mountain Blade Warband, that was it. And because the new series of Game of Thrones is back, and I am just that big of a massive nerd, I am going to replay this game a bit more. So yeah, this is your wild card video for the day. This mod is brilliant. If you never played Mount and Warblade, it is a really good, although slightly old, but it's a really good combat simulator from, I guess, medieval, knights of your time. So it's funny because it started out of a game called Mount and Blade, which was a bit crap. Then they made Mount and Blade Warband, which seemed to be the same game, but just built with a good engine, a sandbox behind it. So you could even go and conquer kingdoms and take over, you could become a king, effectively. Or you could be a pirate, you could be whatever you wanted. And this game really did. It just sung out to me with how good it was. Then I heard of a Game of Thrones mod called A Clash of Kings, set in the time of the big war. So at this particular point, the Red Wedding hasn't happened yet. And it was then just a sandbox where you can go and join any side you like. All the characters from the game are in the demo, or in this mod, and they're all there. And basically, you can go and do what you're going to do. Now, I basically have set up a character called Lord Pyrex of LONGSCHLONG, which sounds like a cheap and base kind of joke to be made, but no, it is actually from the famous family of LONGSCHLONG. I'm sure you're familiar with them. Basically, they're an old British aristocracy house called LONGSCHLONG, who I believe have their seat in Bath. I think they do anyway. And yeah, in essence, they're a very... So there's no cheap knob gag being made here before you raise that assertion upon me. If you believe that, you'll believe bloody anything. Anyway, so what we're doing is we're actually fighting here on the premise that this is a new character to the game. There's no, you could play as Tywin Lannister if you wanted, but there would also be a character in the game called Tywin Lannister, so you can't really do that. And what I've done here is a very sneaky thing. Usually, as always, with me, it's figuring out how to win and then using that tactic. And with me, knights. Knights are your nuclear weapons of this game. If you've got knights, you are pretty much unkillable. And let us talk of the lore of Game of Thrones. For those of you who have read the books or at least seen the series, you'll know that the most perilous thing around Game of Thrones is the people within it, the marauding bands of bastards, the groups of people who are just there to basically loot, pillage, and rape and exploit everybody else. Because a time of war that brings massive instability, and unfortunately, the downtrodden undermasses seem to pay. And that's effectively what's happened here, is exactly that. So in this game, if you rove around with like a couple of dudes and a couple of soldiers, you're going to get beaten the crap out of by everything that moves. However, if you get to the lofty goals, as you see here, I now have a band of knights on my side. Now we are taking on, right here, we are taking on many times our numbers. Many times our numbers. Because I know that my knights are better than theirs. No. And that's pretty much what I what I do. So in this case, we're taking on, this is actually a great example, these are Riverland Raiders. And these are all mounted kind of swordsmen who rove around the Riverlands, around River Run, and basically terrorize everybody. Now, we've finally caught up with them because we're just as fast, because finally we've got the knights. And we basically unleash the knights, and here you see us basically, cracking skulls, stomping dudes' necks into the floor and killing them as best we can. We take no prisoners. If you are foolish enough to stand against the LONGSCHLONGs, which again, no nogag, honest, then you're going to have a very bad time as that LONGSCHLONG gets rammed down your throat. That could have been delivered better, but you see what I'm trying to get to. And look at that, the most heavy horse in the world. It stopped my charging horse. I know it's a bit crappy. I mean, it's an old game, and I do mean old. This is probably about 10 years old now. But this is one of those rare games that doesn't look terrible, let's be honest. It doesn't look terrible, but its gameplay is just exceptional. It really is. It is. You feel like you are truly charging around on your horse, jousting people. You know, you can get a great big double sword out and chop people's faces off, like literally in the thing. You know, in from horse saddle, or you can get off your horse and actually beat the crap out of them. You can wield a mighty crossbow or perhaps a bow and arrow and shoot people on horseback or from a distance. It is a very nice medieval, PvP simulator. And I would just heartily recommend it. I think it's like £3 on Steam. This is Mountain Blade Warband. Make sure you get Warband, not number 1. It's Warband. And it's just so much fun. And then just literally Google Clash of Kings Warband mod, download it, install it, play, have fun, smile, enjoy 10 whole episodes of Game of Thrones as you watch on your one screen, while on the other screen you sit and beat the crap out of people on the Game of Thrones map. So there we go, River Run, Fairmarket. We're in the north. The Twin Towers are just to the north of us, where the Red Wedding happens. So naturally, what I'm doing at the moment is I'm being a vicious bastard and I'm going around beating up the north. So you see here, that's Lord Karstark. We're going to go and beat the living snot out of that dude, because hey, why not? And look, the King of the North, who's not dead yet, spoilers, is going to find me, basically coming through him as well. Now, there's no reason I'm taking on the North. It's not that I have affinity to the North. It's just because they annoyed me, so I went for them. Join us next time. We will play one more. We'll have another game of this. Post in the comments if you'd like me to play a few more of this, or even explain it to you, because it is a fantastic mod and I think you'd love it. Hope you enjoyed that. See you next time.